Freethinkers, welcome back to the next thrilling instalment of visualization stuff. So far I've shown you a single forum thread in the first video, and then waffled on about modularity and things in the second. If you haven't watched the second video, I'd recommend it, as I'm going to be using a lot of the terminology in this one. This video takes us to the meat and potatoes. We're going to look at two different pictures of the forum and see what we can find out. Firstly, my favourite. It featured briefly in the trailer I did for this series and also in the first video. I think I like it because it kind of looks like a flower or a propeller, and it looks cool anyway. So what's it actually telling us? Essentially it's answering the question, who posts where? To answer that question, I've defined the forums themselves as nodes, and also the members as nodes too. The forums obviously cannot post to one another, so all the edges that you see stem from the users to the forums. Users who post in all the forums are located more towards the centre of the image, whereas users who post only to one forum are located closer to that forum. In its current format, the graph isn't telling us much that we don't know already. The Atheism and Theism forum is by far the biggest and most popular forum. Users post there significantly more than any other place. So let's apply some of the learning we picked up from the second video. Firstly, let's look at degrees. Who's the most active? Notice that when we turn this on, the majority of the biggest labels are in the middle. Our most active members don't limit themselves to one forum, but are very active in every forum. As an example, our member King's Chosen, who's probably best known for his Ask a Theist thread in the Atheism and Theism section, is also active in the other forums too. I think this is sound advice for anyone new to our community. Your experience of this forum will be greatly enhanced if you post in a wide variety of places and not limit yourself to a single location. Okay, let's look at our good old friend modularity. Remember my coffee shop example from the second video. We're looking for communities within the network. Here we can see that there are fairly distinct communities that follow almost academic lines. We have our scientists, our philosophers and psychologists, our socialites, and even a big group of people who've never made it out of the introduction forum. This is also an indicator for who is likely talking to who on the forum right now, but more on that in the next visualization. So as you can see, we can get a fair bit out of this graph using degrees and modularity. As ever, there'll be a PDF in the forum post. Okay, let's move on and look at another graph. Okay, freethinkers, this is literally you, or it'll include you, feature you, if you're a member of the thinkingatheist.com forum on or after sort of early February 2012. It's shaped the way it is to try and illustrate who talks to who on the forum, and effectively the people that are located in the center of the visualization talk to more people, are more connected than the people on the kind of outer fringes of the visualization. There's a slight blip to the logic here, and I thought I'd include it just because it's interesting, and you can see it here. This is a user called Soldering On, who's a well-respected member of the forum, and he had the brilliant idea a while back to create a forum post called Introductions, introduce yourself here. So thousands of people have gone to that forum and gone to that thread and replied to it, and therefore he's much bigger than most other users who've posted a similar amount to him, basically because they had a good idea to create an introductions thread, which was great. As with the previous video, this visualization, this is coloured due kind of in accordance with modularity. So remember, we're looking for communities within the network, and broadly speaking, we have two communities. We have a community of newer members located here on the left of the visualization, and a community of older members located here on the right. As we said before, the closeness you are to the center, so here we are kind of right in the middle of the visualization, these are our most connected members. So you can see a couple of our veterans here who've been around for some time are actually quite central, because they remain active despite being on the forum for a long time, and therefore are connected to a huge amount of people on the forum. They've spoken to them, repeatedly many times. Move towards the left a little bit. You can see here our kind of newest breed of active members, including myself, which is there, that tiny little dot. There is me. And you can see all the others. These are newer members that have probably joined in the last 6 to 12 months probably, whereas these guys over here have been around for kind of 12 months plus. And or they might be relatively new members but have just interacted with older members an awful lot. As we drift gradually towards the right, you can see these nodes here are all members who are slowly becoming inactive. You can see none of these ones, very few of these ones, actually have any green, so they're not getting any interaction with the newer members of the forum. And then as we move right out to kind of the periphery here, these are members who've unfortunately long gone and ceased to post, or aren't posting anymore. One other thing of note as we fly around this visualization is right up here is the Thinking Atheist himself, no longer active on the forum due to pursuing other projects with Facebook and videos and changing the world and doing all sorts of other things, like some kind of atheist superhero. And we're left with this central community here, but there he is, like kind of hovering over everything like a kind of guiding star. So yeah, there you are, 1800 users rammed into one visualization. Effectively two communities, a new community and a kind of old school community. Coloured by modularity. The nodes are actually sized by something called the eigenvector centrality, which sounds terribly exciting, and well, it is to me. Effectively that means connectedness, how connected people are to the network. There's a fair amount of maths that sits behind it, but basically they're how connected they are to everybody within the forum. So more connected members appear bigger than less connected members, and I'm defining connections in this, as I've already mentioned, as who replies to who in terms of forum posts. So hopefully you found that useful. There'll be a PDF on the thinkingatheist.com/forum, and you can download it to your heart's desire should you wish to. And thanks very much for watching. Cheers.